Let us talk about the concepts GDP and GNP. What is meant by GDP? Simply gross domestic product. It is the market value of all final goods and services produced within the country's domestic territory in a particular year. Okay? So what is GDP? It is the market value of all final goods and services, not the intermediate goods or services produced within the country's domestic territory. That means the geographical territory in a particular year. Okay, so we take usually 1 year. Okay, this is the GDP. How do we interpret it? So it simply says as goods and services produced within the nation's borders. First thing is first. Also, second thing is that whether output produced or services rendered by the residents or non-residents of the country, we include both in calculating the GDP. That means we include both residents, residents plus non-residents. Okay, by non-residents we mean the foreign nationals residing in a country. Okay, that means let us say we have a country A. Okay, let us say R denotes the residents. Okay, so we take these. Okay, so GDP is the final value of market value of final goods and services produced within the domestic territory. Okay, so in domestic territory we take the residents and non-residents. Let us say we have also some foreign nationals, non-residents, I denoted by NR. Okay, so whatever output is being produced by the residents and the non-residents of a country, okay, we all include their income or output in calculating the GDP. Okay, so we include both residents and non-residents in calculating the GDP of a country. Now, what about GNP? GNP is gross national product. It is market value of all final goods and services produced by the residents of a country during a particular year. We only take the market value of goods and services produced by the residents of a country. Okay, let us take the example further. Let us say we have country A. These black or denote the residents of this country, and let us say we have the non-residents here also, NR. Okay, and let us say we have another country B. In this country B we have some of the persons of country A living in country B. Let's denote it by R. Okay, when we calculate GNP, we include both income earned by the country's nationals within and outside the country. Okay, so in this process the GNP will be these are. Okay, so GNP will be this. We exclude the income earned by the foreign nationals and institutions within the country. Okay, we don't include the income earned by the non-residents of a country. Okay, in calculating GNP, gross national product. Okay, let me repeat it here. In calculating the GNP, we include the income earned by the country's nationals within and outside the country. Okay, we exclude the income earned by the non-residents. Okay, so this is actually the fundamental difference between GDP and GNP. In GDP we include both residents and non-residents. Whatever they produce, their market value in calculating GDP. But in GNP we only include the residents of a country, and no matter where they are residing, whether they are residing in their country or whether they are residing in another country, and we exclude the income earned by the foreign nationals or non-residents and institutions within the country. Okay, so when what will be then GDP, GNP will be simply equal to gross national product will be equal to what is GDP? okay, GDP minus, which is, it is very important, net factor, okay, income from abroad, okay, NFIA, I have written it here. To calculate GNP, we subtract net factor income from abroad. And what is net factor income from abroad? So net factor income from abroad is simply equal to factor income earned by our residents, okay, let me write it here, factor income in this case, okay, so let me write it here, factor income earned earned by, if I take this example, by residents from abroad, and to this we subtract the factor income earned earned by non-residents within the country, okay, within the country, okay. So GNP is simply what is a GDP. To this GDP we subtract, okay, the net factor income from abroad. We, that means factor income earned by the residents from abroad, okay, these are this income minus the factor income earned by the non-residents within the country, okay. We subtract uh, the income earned by residents from abroad minus the income earned by the non-residents within the country. This gives us the net factor income from abroad, okay. So what is, if I can interpret it correctly, that is GDP is the market, this GDP is the market value of final goods and services produced within the domestic territory of a country during a particular year. By domestic territory, what we mean, okay, we can also in economics, yeah, this domestic territory is being interpreted in another way. By domestic territory in economic sense, we say that domestic territory includes the territory lying within the political frontiers, okay, including the territorial waters of a country. That will be also considered the domestic territory. Also, the ships and aircrafts operated by the residents of the country across different parts of the world, that will also be considered domestic territory in economic sense, okay. And what is meant by you know what we call the, so actually it is perfectly said, okay. Then what is gross national product? Gross national this GNP is not a domestic concept at all. It is a national concept. Here we are to estimate national product attributed to the residents of a country, and no matter in which part of the world they live, we are to be no longer confined to the domestic territory of a country. Also, we are not to account the income attributed, as we have seen, to the non-residents within our domestic territory, okay. So we can say gross national product is the market value of final goods and services produced within the domestic territory of a country. We adjust this for net and factor income earned from abroad, okay, rather a net factor income from abroad. I hope I make myself clear. Thank you.